If you can see me, say hi, give this video a thumbs up. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our channel. This is our first live stream on this channel. So if you can see me, say hi to me. Hello, who's there? We're live tonight. If you can see me, give this video a thumbs up. Hello. I can see you. Ebere, you're welcome. How are you doing? Anyway, looks like we are set. So today's live stream is about a story that someone sent to me from Nigeria. There's this housewife that left her husband's house. Excuse me. She left her husband's house and had an affair with a Togolese laborer that came to work in her village. But something led her to that. She didn't just go out of her husband's house to get pregnant for another man. Actually, they've been married for about 3 years and no issue. They had no issue. So the husband made life unbearable for his wife, called her several names, told his family members that his wife had no womb. So the woman tried to explain to the husband's family that the fault might be from her husband, but all of them turned deaf ears to her. So while the issue continued, the woman had no option than to try to prove to her husband's family that actually she had a womb and she could conceive. She started having an affair with a Togolese laborer that came to work in their village. So she slept with the man for the first time. Immediately she conceived. So she moved out of her husband's house back to her own village, to her father's house. She was there till she put to bed. Immediately her husband heard that she has delivered. The husband coming to claim the child with the notion that the Igbo culture and tradition permits him to be the rightful owner of that child because he paid the dowry or the bride price of the woman in question. So now, the question I'm asking is this. You out there that is seeing me now, in your tradition, in your culture, is this woman's husband actually in the right position to claim this baby? Should he call himself the father of this baby? Is he supposed to be proud of himself because of the trauma, the troubles that he caused for the wife? Another thing, this his culture and tradition, I don't actually know if it is a general thing or it's limited to his own side of the state or where he's coming from in Nigeria. I don't know. So I'm asking you guys to help me out here so that I can understand better what the man is saying. Is it true that the moment you pay a woman's bride price, if that woman goes out to conceive a child, to become pregnant for another man, or maybe she fell out of love with her husband and now fell in love with another man, she conceives there, gives birth to a child, that child, does it belong to the biological father or it belongs to the husband of the woman? So maybe another point is maybe the man knew all the while that he couldn't impregnate a woman. So he tried to put the whole blame on his wife, heap every blame on her, so that his family will start looking at this woman or seeing her as a barren woman. You understand what I'm trying to say here? So if not because of his insistence on the woman being the woman being the problem, being the cause of their childlessness, I don't think something would have pushed that woman to push her into this Togolese man's arms. So if you're married, or even before you get married, and you discover that you're having a problem, you're having reproductive problem, you have issues with your reproductive organ, or like some people always say that maybe the cause of his inability to pregnant his wife is because of the diseases that he had, infections, sexually transmitted infections, particularly that he had for so many years, and he had no cure. He didn't seek for any cure. That's why he finds it difficult to pregnant his wife, or that now led him to become impotent, per se. So if a man has that kind of problem, it's better you tackle it head on. That time that you got to know about it, the moment you're diagnosed with this issue, it's better you go through the process of healing or treatment to make sure that you get a cure, rather than bringing a woman into your life, into your family, and you now turn that woman into a laughing stock. The whole community will see her as she is the problem, while you know deep down that you are the problem of your childlessness, you know. And another thing is, these days, there are so many stories out there about men going for DNA tests with their children only to discover that these children don't belong to him or belong to them. And it's one of the reasons of so many marriages are breaking up today. You know, so I don't understand if actually that this man is sound and he knows that the child doesn't belong to him, and he's laying serious claim to that child, because men who discover that the children that they have always called their own from the day one now turned out to be another man's child, they all felt devastated, and their marriage, most of them, that marriage crashed on that day. Or family and friends rally around to see how they can be able to amend what is left of their marriage. But this one is seriously putting his feet down that he wants this child just because he paid the bride price of the woman. So I believe that he needs to start by apologizing to the wife because of the names that he called her in the presence of his family members, and the whole accusations of not having a womb, the humiliations that the wife must have passed through in the hands of his family members, and the sufferings that she must have passed through emotionally, physically, and otherwise. So he should have started from there by apologizing to her, and now see if that woman can be merciful enough to return to his home with that child, because she said that she's tired of the marriage, she's no longer interested. That's why she moved to her own father's house. So if this man really wants her to come back to his life, to come back into his family, I believe that an apology is the first step he should have taken. So why hide his problems, heap the whole blame on his wife? The woman now went out to surprise him, because it came to him as a shock that she could conceive a child, she could have a pregnancy and actually give birth to a baby. So he deceived the woman for so long and turned her into a laughingstock. But the question that begs for answers here is that did the woman take the right step excuse me, did she actually take the right decision by going out to conceive a baby for another man? What is this point that she's trying to prove? Because I know that there are people who've been married for so many years. There are men, even men of God, that have been married for 15, 20 years without a child, but they kept on believing and hoping that someday they will carry their own child in their arms. So, is it right for a married woman to go out of her matrimonial home to get pregnant for another man just to prove a point that she can actually have a baby? So that's one question that if any one of you with answers to this question, please hit me up in the comment section, or as we are chatting live here, you can give me your opinion so that I will know. And also on the aspect of the tradition and culture that this man mentioned, that is the reason why that baby actually belongs to him. I don't know if his own culture, or if it is a general thing that so long as you pay the bride price of your wife, even if a child comes from wherever you don't know, that baby belongs to you, so long as you have paid the bride price of your wife. So if it is true that that's what our cultures and traditions say regarding bride price, please let me know. That's something that I need to understand also. Now, the woman is still married to her husband because they are not divorced. She just separated herself from her husband's house and returned to her own father's house because of her pregnancy, and maybe she didn't want troubles coming from left, right, center because of the way her husband's family members used to treat her. That's why she moved to her own father's house. But they are still married. Whether she likes it or not, she is still the man's wife. So saying something like she cannot go back to her husband's house, or she cannot continue the marriage, and she cannot release that child to her husband because the biological father is interested in getting married to her, and he has claimed responsibility of the baby and taking care of the baby and herself. So, since they are still married, I don't think the man that gave her, the man that got her pregnant, should start talking about remarrying her now that she is still married to her husband, unless they have gone to court, or they have done the traditional procedures. They have gone through the traditional procedures to nullify their marriage. But so long as they are still married, she shouldn't be talking about getting married to her lover or her boyfriend. So what advice do you, esteemed audience, have for this family? What advice do you have for the man, and what advice do you have for the husband, for the woman? What she did, is it right? Because if you think that she didn't do the right thing, you have every right to admonish her. If you feel that what she did is right by going to get pregnant somewhere just to prove a point, you still have the right to air your opinion. But I believe that she could have waited, because there is still time. They were married for just 3 years. She could have waited. And it wasn't stated that the man had any problem, just that he was blaming his wife for their childlessness and accusing her of not having a womb, making her a laughingstock in the community. So that's what actually happened. That's what I have to say about this whole about this issue. So I'm waiting for your opinion. I'm waiting for your own contribution and your advice for this couple. If you have anything to say, hit me up in the comment section. I think that will do it for today's live stream. This is my first live stream anyway. I don't know how it looks like, but if you like what we are doing here, please give us a thumb up, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Please, if you have any contribution, anyhow you want this channel to be, drop a comment in the comment section. You can also write us a personal email. Our email address is in the is in the description box. You will see our email address there. Topics that you like, you can send topics to us so that we'll research and create good content for the channel. We want it to grow. Help us share our videos. I will see you guys in the next live stream. Peace and love.